Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Vinyl Talk with Tavis, and I'm Tavis. Before we get started, I think I'll play a little music. Today on the turntable we have the Lester Young Story. Yeah. Yes. Turn this down a little. I found this at the one of my thrift stores in town for only 99 cents. The guy that works there at the thrift store, he knows my likes, so he had this saved for me, along with some other great stuff. But today I'm listening to this. Great music. Well, happy National Album Day, everybody. In the UK, they are celebrating National Album Day. And they're doing it by advocating you to go buy records and to listen to your record collection, go through your record collection, just relish in the fact that you have a collection of records. So I did just that today. For the first time, I counted out all the records that I own so far. At least 33s. And the number is 479. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, vinyl community, friends and loved ones, all of you out there, I have 479 records. The big ones. The little 45s, I'm not sure, probably about 50. So, I wanted to take this time to talk about the Queen of Soul. A couple of weeks ago, I was looking on Discogs, and I was looking for Aretha Franklin, her album called Through the Storm. And her last album that she did in 2014 came up. And I didn't know that it was on vinyl. So I was really happy to get this. This came out in 2014, her last studio album. It is her 38th studio album. And the song that really took it to the top was her rendition of Rolling in the Deep. And I must be honest with you and say that when this first came out, I was incredibly thrilled. Produced by her and Clive Davis. And when I first heard Rolling in the Deep, tears came to my eyes. This is a great album. It's not the Aretha Franklin of old, though. It's not the young Aretha Franklin. So you have to get used to her voice. Her voice had changed tremendously. I'll keep this up. And you knew that she wasn't quite, well, you could tell she wasn't 25 or 35 or 55. You could tell she was in her 70s, okay? So at times, I must confess, it's hard to listen to this record because you want the young version of Aretha, you know? But I must say that her spirit is still in this album. And her version of Adele's Rolling in the Deep, it gets me. It makes me cry because she's really giving it her all. And they combine the song Ain't No Mountain High Enough. It's like a mashup of tunes, and that's really effective. So I was really glad to get this. I'm really glad. And let's do a thumbnail. Yeah, that'll work. I'm really proud of this record. Glad to know that it's on vinyl too. Did you all know it was on vinyl? When she passed away last year, we knew it was coming. but it was hard to accept. I think that music goes quite well with this feeling I have. Anywho, let's go on to another Aretha Franklin album that I have. It's all about the Queen of Soul today. All hail the Queen. This is probably my favorite Aretha Franklin album. This is her 1985 release. I think it's her 30th studio album. Produced by Narada Michael Walden. This is when she came out with the song Freeway of Love. Man, if that song don't take you to church and make you want to dance in the disco or wherever you want to dance all at the same time, you don't have any heart. Freeway of Love. To me, this is her best album. Now, she has great hits, but this album, I can listen to it all the way through. And I just feel something. I just feel compelled to keep listening and not skip. Now, this album has The Freeway of Love, Another Night. Have you heard Another Night? Man, her voice is so powerful on that song. It's like the microphone can't even hold her voice. When she gets that high note, ow, ow, woo! She's preaching in that song. Sweet Bitter Love, Who's Zooming Who, which also features the background vocals of Sylvester. Remember the disco diva, Sylvester? I think he does background for a lot of these songs on here. But Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves with the Eurythmics. Until You Say You Love Me. Man, just good stuff. And I love that portrait of her there. 1985. Yep, good music there. Then we have, this is simply called Aretha. And this came out in 1986, her 31st studio album. Does that artwork look familiar? That's an Andy Warhol painting. This album features Jimmy Lee and her duet with George Michael, I Knew You Were Waiting For Me. It also has that famous tune, Jumpin' Jack Flash, with Keith Richards playing the guitar. Wow, Keith Richards. And also Rock A Lot. Rock A Lot's really good. There's a video, I think it's just claymation. It's just her as Clay, and she's all around the town and talking about rocking and dancing and, you know. Yeah, and then she has a duet with Larry Graham from Sly and the Family Stone. If You Need My Love Tonight. Yes, Aretha. I need your love tonight. I need your voice tonight. Can't wait to listen to it. Then we have Aretha, Jump To It. Now this came out in 1982, produced by Luther Vandross. Jump, jump, jump to it. Great music. That's a cool song, okay? Now I've noticed, I remember when she was making these records, and I remember saying to myself, you know, her voice is not the same as it was in the 60s. And when the 80s come, I said her voice is not the same as it was in the 70s. And when the 90s came, I was saying the same thing. So each decade, her voice would change, it seemed. I could feel that change. There's videos of her smoking. So I think like in the 50s and 60s and 70s, she was a smoker. I'm not sure if she ever stopped, but you know, cigarettes can affect the voice, but it made hers rough and give her that preaching voice, you know? Yeah, love Aretha. Now, of course, the ultimate Aretha Franklin album to have is her greatest hits. Just to score a comp of Aretha's hits, you can't go wrong, man. I think I've done a video about this before, but this was only $12. This came out in 1971. And this particular copy is a 74 reissue on Atlantic Records. Let's look at it. Again. Yeah, good stuff there. All her greatest hits up until 71. Like Chain, 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 Spanish Harlem, Baby I Love You, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. All her hits that you all probably know. Everyone should own an Aretha Franklin comp album. If not an original regular album, you should definitely own an Aretha Greatest Hits album. I look forward to getting her Through the Storm album sometime next week. Well, everybody, I just wanted to share that with you, and relishing in all of the records that I have, putting everything in order, getting ready for Christmas. I've looked at all my albums with the Christmas theme. Do you all have any Christmas record recommendations? Post them down below. Let me know what you think. I have about 12 Christmas albums. I need more. Hey, the magic number for me, 479. Happy National Album Day in the UK, everybody. You all, thank you so much for watching. And, as always, with music, be inspired and stay inspired.